to say we're over-criminalized, I think, may also be putting it too lightly. We're extremely over-criminalized, and it's not only a South African phenomenon. But just to get into some examples that we've seen in our very limited research so far, the one thing you mentioned is the you could be arrested for making a film. So if I took my cell phone and I recorded something, anything, that would, in terms of the definition of the act, qualify as a film. And if I show it or exhibit it or distribute it, God forbid, then I would be committing a crime unless I've been registered with the Films and Publications Board to distribute films or show films, and that would land me in jail for several months, or I could be fined something to the tunes of hundreds of thousands of rands. Then there's other crimes. If you have a registered transportation business and you have a license for your vehicles and everything, you jump through all the silly hoops, and you drive someone to Messina near the Zimbabwean border, or you pick people up there and you bring them back, but you didn't get that extra permit from the cross-border agency that we have in South Africa. If you didn't get that permit, then you'll be committing a crime because you are transporting people to and from nearby an international border. And that in South Africa is a crime for which you could be locked up or, again, fined. Then, of course, there's a crime that people might be more familiar with, and that is in terms of the Employment Equity Act. If you have 50 or more employees, the affirmative action rules apply to you. So if you take any conscious action to not hire 50 or more employees, you decide, I do not want this law to apply to me, this racial engineering law, that would be a crime. If you decide to keep your business small, that is a crime. So those are some silly examples. Then there's another form of overcriminalization that we've seen, and that is a very technical overcriminalization, like fraud in South Africa is already a crime in common law. Yet if you look at many of these pieces of legislation, there is a heaping up of fraud. If you misrepresent X, Y, and Z to the regulator, you will be guilty of a crime and you will be imprisoned. That is already a crime. So why is it recriminalized? That's another example of how South Africans and how businesses are really buried under a bureaucratic heap of crimes that really it's virtually impossible for any one person to be conscious of all the crimes that they are potentially breaking at any 1 minute of any day. It's at the municipal level, at the provincial level, and at the national level. And yes, a lot of people are going to say, but obviously the police aren't enforcing these things. Why are you worried? The prosecutors aren't prosecuting these things. The reality is, number one, they probably do in some cases, because in the NPA, there is a policy that incentivizes prosecution.
Thank you very much for watching. To access the full video, along with the rest of our CRA analysis, our weekly risk alerts, as well as our macro reviews and our periodic strategic intelligence reports, as well as our briefings, please head to the CRA website linked in the description below and consider subscribing to our services. Until next time, Chris Hattingh here for the Center for Risk Analysis. Take care.